And welcome back everyone to game number 3 between Complexity Gaming and Evil Geniuses. I'm Reddit, joining me is Halberd. We've been blessed with a treat tonight, taking it to game 3. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's certainly been a pretty interesting series so far. I've enjoyed these games, and we get to enjoy one last one, which is always a treat. Like I said in game 1, it's always the caster's privilege that you can always root for the team that's lost the first game, so you can get to game 3. So here we are, game 3, and of course both these sides would love this win. We have a pretty important victory for either side. But you know, I wouldn't know who to call. I mean, both games have been quite well contested in various points of it. I think probably the more convincing win came from Complexity in game 1, but that doesn't tell you anything. It's pretty much a coin flip at this point, and I do think that Complexity's side has probably been a little underrated. They're not given quite as much love as they deserve. And obviously, EG, they're a monster lineup, so I wouldn't be too surprised if they pull out something really special in this last game.
Yeah, looking at the ban so far, Venomonster being banned out, of course, yet again in the first phase, Ancient Apparition. Nature's Prophet being taken out by EG as well as the Lich, but that did leave the Spirit Breaker in the pool. However, it's quite interesting. Yesterday, it was always Earthshaker getting priority, and now Spirit Breaker getting picked up in the first phase, Disruptor and Earth Spirit being picked up here from EG, and then Silencer from Complexity. Basically, with a Silencer pick, they want to stop any kind of team fight. And when you have a Disruptor and an Earth Spirit, you want to gank and you want to go for team fights. So I do like the Silencer pickup here. However, early on, look for this Earth Spirit to just roam around and put a lot of pressure on the middle lane.
Yeah, I think the Silencer really paid off very well for Complexity in the first matchup. I think we spoke about it at the time where there was a particular team fight that engaged in the Silencer, didn't get the kill they were looking for, and we saw how valuable that hero can be in that environment. Just dropping that silence after your big spells have been used, there was pretty much very little EG could do to come back and win that team fight, and it was probably the deciding moment of that first game. I do think that you don't often get that kind of grace in high-level Dota, so we'll see if EG... I wouldn't expect EG to make the same mistake the second time around. But as you mentioned, Earth Spirit and Disruptor, they're two heroes that do like to team fight. Obviously, they both have ultimates that are very, very strong in team fights. Now, they tend to do quite nicely. I wouldn't really call Disruptor a great laner by any means, but certainly they do like scrappy fights as well. And I don't think you should underestimate how good Silencer can be in that. You can be in a completely different lane and change the tides. I do wonder how they're going to deal with the Spirit Breaker. It's something they haven't really addressed just yet. Obviously, the Glimpse is quite handy against them. But even so, it would be nice to see them get like a real response to it. Maybe something that just gives you a little bit more vision around the map so you can identify when that Spirit Breaker is coming for you. You still do have both the likes of the Night Stalker as well as the Keeper of the Light in the pool, which obviously just give you that greater ability to see what's happening, what's coming your way. So we'll see if they opt for something like that. But I mean, to be fair, with Earth Spirit and Disruptor, that's highly unlikely.
Yeah. Looking at the bans, the Necro being banned out, I mean, it's quite interesting. A big difference between the games of yesterday when Necro was first pick and first phase ban material. Now going all the way through to the second phase and the last ban out from Complexity. I do like the sniper ban coming out here from Evil Genius. I mean, this is one of the heroes, or this is the hero that caused them a lot of grief during game number 1. And with a Spirit Breaker that can actually tag the front lines, having a Silencer there to, stop any kind of shenanigans when a team fight starts, having that sniper just constantly hit away at the likes of a Disruptor, pretty much 3 shrapnels can kill her, like, towards the early stages of a game, can kill a Disruptor pretty easily.
But I mean, it's quite easy to follow as well, especially considering the fact that you're very unlikely to find yourself in a situation where you have a Disruptor that's even getting away from just the right-click damage and unfortunately for Disruptor, something like Sniper can just... He doesn't really need to move, right? He just hits you, so Glimpse isn't going to save you. Yep.
Faceless Void picking up... Faceless Void picking up Evil Geniuses. Evil Geniuses picking up Faceless Void now as well. Once again, going for that, like, wombo. Are we going to see Sumail on the likes of a Death Prophet? We've been seeing a lot of Void Death Prophet matchups, not just in StarLadder, but in other tournaments as well of late.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Also, can I just say I'm like super excited about like the potential of any lineup that has a Faceless Void as well, because you just get yourself into this position where you potentially have these wonderful moments as a class where you just get to shout and scream a lot, because it obviously sets up so well for things.
Yeah, let's have a look and see what complexity pick up. I mean, it's still going to be difficult to... Oh, CK, is this going to be... is there going to be another Wisp here?
I wouldn't be too surprised. I mean, it does fit in
with
very
a core
nicely,
silencer?
but potentially, or potentially also an offlane Spirit Break. I'm not a massive fan of the offlane Spirit Break anymore. I just think that it just does the same thing as a support in many ways, as in sets up the same fights, and it can just, as a tank hero, it can just kind of latch on somebody and get some of those greater bashes. We've all seen that 70% one time in our life. So I think it's definitely still a plausible lineup to have the silencer fill a core position and run the Chaos Knight. But I think there's also the case they are up against the Disruptor, which may make them quite. They're not really too keen on picking that up, since obviously Disruptor is one of the classic counters to IO anyways.
Yeah. Okay, let's quickly think here. Evil Geniuses, do they here decide to pick up their offlaner, or do they just go for their mid? Thinking maybe perhaps that the silencer is going to be going mid. To be honest, I don't think complexity should pick up the Wisp here. I don't think it is needed. Sure, a Wisp CK is the... I mean, it's Wisp CK or IO CK, IO Tiny. It's the two biggest like combos that you can get. But yeah, I think this might actually be a Sumail Mirana. I think this might be a Sumail Mirana.
Yeah, that would make sense to me. In the
I know Universe can also play it, but...
No, I think it's a pretty good one. Also, it's a bit of a difficult hero for the likes of Break to bring down early on in lane. If he's going to get those charges through, obviously Mirana with that built-in leap is hard to take down. But obviously it also gives them a bit of flexibility. I mean, you're wondering it yourself, like, do they pick off their offlaning? How do they hang 10 on it? And I think this gives them an option, like, okay, we could potentially run this as an offlaner or as a mid, but I'm not a massive fan of Mirana in the offlane, personally. It's definitely useful that you can get off a couple of secret arrows just to find yourself a bit of farm, find yourself a little bit of experience in the jungle, potentially. But all the same, I think this is likely going to be their mid.
Yeah. I mean, having that Earth Spirit there, if the Earth Spirit can get a good Boulder Smash off roll in, it sets up for, sure, not the biggest range Mirana arrow, but it sets up still for another 2-second stun with the Mirana arrow, with the Starfall coming through as well. There's a lot of gank potential coming through on the middle lane if it is going to be a Sumail Mirana. But complexity, they decide to pick up a Jakiro here, so this, okay, either it's going to be a offlane Spirit Breaker, but in all likelihood, I think it's most likely going to be an offlane Jakiro. We've been seeing that, being picked up quite a bit, running dual offlanes with a Jakiro. It might even be Jakiro Spirit Breaker offlane. Silencer, I still think is going to be run here as a core. I think it was last week I saw mid Jakiro being played again, but it's an interesting draft coming up here from Complexity, and I think Fear is going to be scratching his head to say, well, what's actually going to be happening here? How are they going to lane this?
Yeah, they did leave themselves up with a lot of options. It will be very interesting as well. And what do these lanes even look like? Do we see dual lanes? Do we see a defense trial? It would be quite hard to guess at this stage. But I think what EG probably are most concerned about is that they don't actually have something that's like a really solid counter late game to a Chaos Knight, in the sense that, sure, you can obviously lock him down, you can do a lot of damage to him, but obviously this is an illusion based hero, and ideally you want something that can deal a lot of damage to illusions very quickly. Obviously Mirana has some area abilities as well as potentially the likes of the Earthspirit and Disruptor, but the big thing is that Mirana puts itself at a lot of risk in order to deal with the likes of the CK and its area. You probably die from trying to bring them down. So it would be nice to see them get something that just at the very least can easily help them identify which is the real CK, so they can bring them down with less effort.
Well, the side of Complexity did ban out the Death Prophet, thinking this might just be an offlane Mirana, which it possibly could still be. This is going to be a mid Dragon Knight core Chaos Knight, and I do think it is going to be a Spirit Breaker Jakiro offlane with the Silencer laning up with the CK. So pos 3 Spirit Breaker or pos 3 Jakiro. In most cases, I think it's going to be a pos 3 Jakiro. I think it's a pos 3 Jakiro.
Okay, well, let's see if you're right. And hopefully, let's see me be right, and EG picks something up that deals a little bit better with these illusions than what they currently have. And
So Universe Timbersaw, it is going to be a Sumail Mirana. We're right on that one, and I mean, well, not a universe. So it's going to be an Arteezy Timbersaw. Are they actually going to be running dual lane universe and fear up again, like in a tri lane? Oh, it's going to be interesting to see how they actually match this up. Limp is running the Dragonite. It is going to be Chessie on the CK, Z-Freak on the Spirit Breaker, and Moo. So it is going to be a pos 3 Jakira coming up. I've been seeing this more and more often, and I actually like it. That early game presence that a Jakira has with 3 or 4 levels up in Dual Breath, as well as 3 or 4 levels up in Liquid Fire, just stops any kind of momentum that the opposing team has. Because of the slow, the turn rate slow, the attack speed slow, it's just ridiculous. The problem here though is EG has such a well-rounded draft. They can combo up very well, they can combo up easily. Sumail has the arrows, Universe can just land. To be honest, even if he lands a 1-hero chrono, 2-hero chrono, they have enough burst to go through the chrono with the Mirana, with Arteezy as well, even though Tamali Hero Timbersaw does have his Chakram that can go through and go into the Chronosphere. Looking at the two drafts, I like EG's draft a bit more.
I mean, fair enough. The one thing to bear in mind as well, though, from complexity is that they're all very tanky, and I think the Timbersaw is going to be very useful at dealing with it. Obviously, just bring down some of those HP points. But oh, hold on, we're going to see a little tussle here already. This is a very aggressive position.
I think they're just busy, you know, scouting each other out. To be honest, the reason why the Silencer would, for example, move up as far as that, because they want to try and scout out what EG's lanes are going to be. Because they don't know if Universe is going to be running offlane, if it's going to be a dual offlane, if it's going to be Arteezy in the safe lane, trying to dodge any kind of aggro lineup coming through here from Complexity. They know that Moo's on the Jakiro, so they know it's definitely going to be a minimum of a dual lane in the offlane. So I'm quite surprised that we don't just see Arteezy being thrown into the safe lane and the likes of EG just, you know, running their own aggro try. But we're going to probably see an arrow flying through here. There is a smoke. Is this going to be the first? Oh, they're all just like busy spreading out right now. And let's have a look. Is this going to be where the first blood's coming from? No arrows, no nothing. They decide to back off rather. And oh, Moo's actually going to get this. Moo's going to get this. There you go.
The big thing as well is that I think Universe actually just wandered in there and just found that his rune was free and was like, guys, you really don't want to walk in there. So nice of him just to keep some vision there. Ends up being I think two apiece. Yeah. So in the end, both teams come up with the same amount of runes.
Yep. Arteezy's actually here in the middle lane on the Timbersaw right now. Oh, they managed to get the dire kill as well. coL coming through here. There you go. The wall plates as well. That's actually quite a big start here for the side of Complexity. Arteezy just pushing out a little bit too far with the courier. And the safe lane is going to be Mirana. I mean, okay, so they've switched up the lanes quite a bit here. They know that they're going to be running against at least a dual off lane at this point with Moo. Keep in mind, when I say dual off lane, this just means the Spirit Breaker is constantly going to be there. I do like this. EG just completely switching up all the lanes. And having a Timbersaw up versus a Dragonite, I mean, I honestly don't think either of these two... Will they be able to get the kill on Moo? I don't think so.
No. Could actually quite a beating for that.
Yeah.
But it didn't look like his teamies were too keen on getting involved. Now there's also Spirit Breaker nearby, so...
well, Spirit Breaker might be in a bit of trouble. He does, however, have charge, so he can actually charge up, and there's not going to be any kind of silence. Spirit Breaker does charge through. Unfortunately, he only charges through onto the Disruptor. Where's the first blood going to be coming from? It is going to be Moo getting the first blood. For the side of Complexity, they still want more. Well, EG at least wants to try and get a counter kill up here. Z-Freak is going to be the counter kill. So, an easy 1-for-1 trade.
I'm just going to say I love Sumail's response to this. Like, I'm here to right-click friends.
Yep.
I'll have no part in this action. You guys go battle it out and create some space for me. So, in the end, it is 1-for-1. Obviously, this is actually significant because you get the courier kill early on. So, obviously, a nice little bit of change there. And then you get the first blood. So... It's a nice position for coL to be in. It's pretty much the best kind of start you can get, realistically. But also, I just want to point out back to the courier. I mean, obviously, the courier dying so early means that it doesn't delay Arteezy's bottle by as much as it would have. But at the same time, what it does do is it obviously just... Sorry, hold that thought, because top lane is more action.
Correct, actually thinking that Moo was going to turn around and run away, going in for the ball, or, you know, for the roll. towards the backside of Mu. Unfortunately, Mu didn't back off there at all, so nothing much happening there. And one thing I just want to point out here as well, middle lane, I honestly don't think anything's going to be happening middle. I don't think any of these two heroes have the kill potential on the other, because Arteezy's just going to get his health back because of the reactive armor stacks. And of course, well, as I'm saying that, Limp's actually taking a lot of damage, but all of them, I mean, there's Dragon Blood, which gives health regen, and then there's the reactive armor, which gives health regen. So I think it's going to be a very passive middle lane, but this top lane, there's an arrow flying through. It does hit. Unfortunately, it's only like a 0.5 second arrow. And sumail might be in a bit of trouble. He does leap away, and here comes Crit. Goes straight between the two heroes of Complexity, and they will back off. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Universe might be in a bit of trouble himself, but he's going to be able to TP it out as well. No extra stun after CK managed to, well, after CK used his Chaos Bolt.
Well, top lane, the anger again, Z-Fleet going straight and back onto Fear. Won't get caught out by the Boulder by Crit. But
sumail has to be careful though, because he's also on very low HP. The burn coming through. This is the power of Mu having a couple of levels up, and it's going to be Crit. He's just going to roll away. They won't be able to get anything coming through from here. It's just going to be... Wait, was that Jakiro taunting? Yeah. The power of this Jakiro this early on, especially having like 2 levels up, he's about to have 2 levels up in Liquid Fire as well. The damage over time that's going to be coming through onto the likes of sumail. I mean, just have a look at this. Just from those 2 spells, it's going to put him on, under, well, probably under around 150 HP. He does, of course, have a salve. But that's why I've been liking this offlane Jakiro being picked up, especially up against squishier heroes. Oh, coL might be in trouble. There's a roll coming in here from Crit, and this is definitely going to be a kill. Who's going to take it? Universe gets it with a very far melee attack. So they at least managed to get another kill there, and looking currently at the state of the game, being 1 and 2, 4 minutes in, everything's being very passive, middle lane's being passive. It's just bottom and top that we have to, try and focus on. And I actually think Mu's getting away with a lot more than he should.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. It's also one of those cases where, because they got, I was trying to point something, they got the first blood, right? They also got the career early on. Means that you just got a little bit of a bolster into what items you can get in the starting phases of this game. And for a hero like Jakiro, that is, I wouldn't say it doesn't care for items, right? Everyone cares for items, but he's somebody that can do a lot with not that much, but hold the thought, because Z-Freak wants to do a lot onto this Mirana.
Yeah, he won't be able to get close enough to the Mirana though to actually get the stun. However, they want to go onto Fear right now. Oh, that stun coming through. If Z-Freak actually kept on chasing there, they might have been able to get something, but here comes Crit. He actually did roll in. They're going to be able to get the kill onto Mu. No, the stun comes up. Z-Freak managing to keep Mu alive a little bit longer, and this might actually be Crit dying just because of that. Z-Freak wants to turn around. Is there going to be any lucky bashes? There's a lucky bash onto sumail, but the blink or the leap coming through from sumail is just insane. Oh, the charge. No, back in, out. I don't know. Z-Freak, he is eventually going to fall. If the arrow hits, it doesn't. He's alive. Nearly managing to get a couple of kills there as well. I mean, that lucky bash.
Bot lane Universe now stunned up for 2 seconds as well. I don't think this will be enough to finish the job, but certainly a nice bit of harassment coming out onto him. But Jesse also took quite a bit of damage through that engagement as well.
Yep, and the bottom shrine is active, so Crit is here. He does have an Orb of Venom up as well as... Oh, wait, no, yeah, nothing else happening mid. So there comes the roll going straight in onto Chessy, pushing him back, and well, a good swap coming out right now, but is there going to be any kind of lucky bashes coming through? No time locks needed. Universe just says, I can do enough damage as is. I'm quite surprised that CK actually stayed in lane that long.
Yeah, I think he didn't really respect the rotations enough for that. They are obviously committing quite a few people to that top lane, so they just figured the chances of me getting caught out in a situation like that is limited. And those are the kind of kills that you need. Also, got to say, there's a charge towards top lane.
That's a very deep charge. I mean, this is mostly just to keep vision. And, well, no, oh, that arrow actually does hit up onto Spirit Breaker. But the problem with being this aggressive, if EJ actually TP a couple of heroes in, for example, if that was a level 6 up on the Faceless Void and he TP'd in, Complexity will be in a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is like something I really want to point out as well. It's just the Complexity at the moment. They're playing so aggressively on this top lane.
They actually want to go here onto Arteezy. Hold that thought quickly. This might be another courier snipe. Oh. Luckily not. And I mean, Like I just said, I don't think that they can actually kill any one of these two mid heroes without a significant rotation. Crit is here.
We're talking about significant rotation.
Well, he wants to go in. There you go. Actually does manage to get it. The stun is there. Fear coming through as well as Sumel. There's a lot of them, and even with so many, Crit might be in a bit of trouble. The charge is still coming through. Will they actually decide to just go in straight for this? There's the glimpse up onto coL. Well, hold on quickly. That is going to be the kill onto Spirit Breaker. Well, the Spirit Breaker getting that one kill. Complexity on coL. He might be in a bit of trouble himself.
Summon Roshan's strength.
Yeah. No. That's going to be Summon Sumel's strength.
Yeah, there we go. Pretty much in the end. And, you know, of course, just to add insult to injury, regenerate pops as well for your mid lane Timbersaw. So, pretty much as good as you're going to get it. Obviously, losing the Earth Spirit wasn't ideal. But it's been... You know, it hasn't been the terror of Spirit Breaker that we have seen in the past. He's been, I wouldn't say quiet by any means, but certainly would like to be involved in some more action. Wants to be on the side with the most kills early on in the game.
However, 3-6 in favor of EG, but looking at the net worth, closing it to around 1,000 gold in favor of Complexity, and that is mostly because of this off-lane Jakiro. I mean, the top net worth is Arteezy here in the middle lane. However, the next three are the three cores for the side of Complexity. They're actually doing very well. This Jakiro is just constantly pushing out the lane. 4 levels up in Dual Breath, 2 levels up in his Liquid Fire, and he's just harassing out, and he's sort of bullying Sumel in this lane.
You really want to find yourself in a position where your safe laner is one of the... I mean, he is basically the least farmed core in this game. I mean, not basically, he is. So you don't want to find yourself in that position where you're just sitting so shy. I mean, Universe in the bottom lane at the moment has
Arteezy is being charged right now. There's multiple TPs coming in right now. Moo dropping his macro pie as well. Arteezy is still not dead. He's still tanking it out completely. He does not, unfortunately, have a Timber Chain. So this is just going to be his death. He can't actually do anything but a good 3-man Boulder Crush, or, you know, Boulder coming through here from Crit. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough. And the Boulder Smash, well, being level 2, only level 4 up on Earth Spirit, he's not going to roll in with his ulti as well.
No,
the one big thing
I
is...
feel that would have been a mistake.
Yeah. And hold on quickly, Universe. Okay, so a lot of poking and prodding coming through here from both teams. I'm just surprised that Arteezy went in this deep when he doesn't have any Timber Chain to get out.
Yeah, I mean, it was curious, right? Because you generally see Bids getting quite adventurous when they feel that they're ahead and they have an opportunity just to pressure their opponent. But yeah, if he had a Timber Chain, it's a different story, right? Because he was almost certainly out of there. There's not a huge amount of magic damage available to them at this point in the game. So
there's a Chronosphere coming through here from Universe. A roll in from the Earth Spirit. They're trying to go onto the Chaos Knight. Chaos Knight does actually manage to get his Phantasm off right now, but he still might drop here. Universe, who's going to actually get the loss hit? It is going to be Crit, but the charge comes through. Z-Freak actually hits onto Universe. They want to turn around. They want to go onto Sumel, and a double kill here for Z-Freak. Crit's in a lot of trouble. He gets bashed up. Z-Freak, he's going to work. Is this going to be another lucky bash? No, Z-Freak manages to roll away to safety. 2 heroes in exchange for 1 though, but a double kill up here for Z-Freak gives him quite a bit of cash.
It's also 2 cores as well, so I mean, it's not a case where you can say, well, we've sacrificed a support and another support to pick up a 1 position who's farming well, because that is in fact the case. But you know, you obviously losing just such a huge amount of time there on these players. Not the outcome they would have wanted, but it already was all thanks to that charge. I mean, you had the Spirit Break coming in. I mean, the stars aligned, and so did the heroes. He was able to pick up a kill. But top lane Moo and a little bit of trouble here. I got some friends tapping him.
He's pushing up very far. Look at the amount of damage he can actually do onto Universe, but Universe will just be able to get out of that. Here's a stun into an arrow from the Murano, and this is going to be the death of the Jakiro. However, he managed to do quite a bit of damage there, forcing a lot of rotations, which, of course, does open up the rest of the map. Limp busy pushing here onto the middle lane, forcing out the Cliff bottom lane as well. No, Chessie should be okay. There's actually a charge or a roll in here onto Limp. A global silence being cast. Limp might be in a bit of trouble himself. He's just turning around, trying to do as much as possible. He gets glimpsed all the way back, and this will be Limp's death. So that's 2 heroes now down. Unfortunately, the Earth Spirit is going to be the trade-off here, and that's going to be Z-Freak once again getting that kill. He does not... Well, there's the charge up for the Earth Spirit. Very well done. Not the Earth Spirit, the Spirit Breaker. Okay. He does manage to get a double kill there.
Because that's reasonable, right? You charge into a tower at 12 minutes and amongst multiple opponents and kill 2 of them because reasons.
Because reasons.
Because reasons. I mean... It's just, it's such a tanky hero. He can just do that, which is pretty ridiculous. But he'll be obviously very satisfied with the job well done, a lot of experience, get some more gold for himself, and as mentioned, as a sprint breaker, you obviously want to be very aggressive as the game is. It's on a little bit of a time trial for you, right? You're going to get to a point where people don't mind you charging them if you're playing that support role.
Hey, if you're a support and you're being charged, even at 60 minutes, you mind. But let's have a look here. I know what you mean. Timbersaw, he does get charged up right now by the Spirit Breaker. There is no ulti up for him. However, the Boulder Smash comes through, brings it back as well, gets silent. Spirit Breaker might be in a bit of trouble, but here comes the reinforcements. Chess, he does manage to go onto the Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit is going to be the first one to drop from here. Z-Freak has still not died. He charges through 3 heroes right there, but the Chronosphere from Universe, it is very good. Unfortunately, it's not going to be good enough because they don't have the damage. Very well played there from the Jakiro. Mu dropping down the macro power over everything, so they could not actually get a kill on top of the Chronosphere. Universe having to back up there completely, and this is just a free tier 1 tower after getting 2 kills up onto EG.
This is an omelet will be completed in a second by Chessie as well, so he's going to become even more of a threat now. And the pushing power is actually really powerful for the lineup of coL. I mean, these 2 dragons really do a lot of work. And, well, Spirit Breaker is just a menace at the moment, so he doesn't need to push anything except fear down back into the respawn timer.
Hey, a creep got that kill, though.
I didn't even see that. I mean,
that creep, though!
Just the assist. So
I missed the kill, but I got the creep, though.
Of creeps right now. They're clearly EG fans.
I think over the past 2 days, I've cast probably 6 creep kills. And 1 was a triple kill from a tomato.
I mean, that sounds stream-worthy. But bottom lane, Universe, Port out here will have his time-lapse available.
Yeah, he isn't too scared about this. However, if he stays too long, because, I mean, now if he time walks, he's going to be on this amount of HP, so they can turn around. But the support is there coming in from Fear. Does bring back Z-Freak. Z-Freak is silenced up right now, and the arrow comes through, connects. However, Mu does drop his macro power. Is not going to do enough, and he might actually just drop from this as well. Crit is taking quite a bit of damage. But the rest of EG are there. The reinforcements have arrived and they're busy pushing. They want to kill this pesky Jakiro. This Jakiro has just been creating so much space for the side of complexity to start off with.
They did glimpse favorable in a couple seconds as well, so they have to be very careful here. Although Universe is very low, they probably won't be able to push them back. Mu's actually been very irritating. Like, I think that's how coL have. Oh, Universe?
What?
Oh, there's a bit, no ice path, so he was fine from that. But just 2 hits was enough. But as I was saying, I think that's basically the complexity style of play, is just be really, really irritating, be as frustrating as possible, and win the game with that. And they are in fact in a pretty decent position. I mean, 50 minutes in there, it's a smallish lead, 2K, nothing that anyone's gonna be too scared about. But they look like they look like they're playing with a lot of confidence in this matchup. I mean, Z-Freak in particular has been hyper aggressive and it's been paying off for him. So why not?
Well, currently looking at the net worth, it was in favor, 1,000 in favor of complexity, then 1,000 in favor of EG, 2,000 in favor of complexity again. This has literally been the story of all 3 of these games. The mid game is just back and forth. Neither one of these 2 teams actually having a massive advantage early on.
I think the big thing as well is that even though the Jakiro feels like he got a lot, right? He's sitting a third highest on net worth. He's starting to pick up some reasonably big items as well. He's got that nice Hood of Defiance as well, which is going to make him quite irritating to bring down, as mentioned. The irritation strat paying off nicely here.
He's going to, though, drop quite a bit. I mean, normally Jakiro's up until the 20-minute mark are around the top 3. Currently, I mean, I don't see how he's actually going to keep up with farm, especially up against the likes of a Morana, the likes of a Faceless Void, etc. But I think he's done... Oh, wait. No, there's an arrow from Sumel, and the charge coming through. I'll continue that point a bit later. He still wants to go in. Z-Freak, he doesn't care. He's just going balls to the wall. He actually casts his Nether Strike right now. Unfortunately, the vision did not actually catch anyone, and here comes Limp. He's coming in. They will be able to take this tier 2 tower. Arrow flying through. Will not hit onto anyone. No one has died just yet. This is just going to be a free... not a completely free tier 1 tower. But it will be a free tier 1 tower, and I'm surprised no one actually dropped there.
Yeah, I think the big thing as well is that for EG, your big damage source is coming from your Timbersaw at the moment. And if he's not in that fight, it's kind of scary casting the Chronosphere because you could just end up wasting it, and it does have a hefty cooldown. And
back to the point about the Jakiro. The big point is here, he's created enough space for Complexity to actually get a bit more farm up on Limp, get map control, get a couple of towers down, and just be a nuisance considering the side of EG actually have a team fight lineup. They want to fight, they want to use the chrono, they want to move in and be in your face, and this Positive Jakiro has just been delaying that and slowing that down completely.
I mean, this is a really big lead, right? Because it's not just the fact that you have 4K net with advantage, it's just your map control again. You've taken so many outer towers off from EG. You're finding yourself in a position once again where you can make quick rotations and EG can't. So even though they have heroes like Disruptor that are really good at chasing you, if you're running straight back into T1 tower and that's your defense, it's you know less time to go. With top lane, they're going to catch out this silence, and this should be a very easy kill on them. I think that's one big thing as well.
Hashtag not hype worthy.
Yeah, not at all. But Universe also, like, he's playing a hero he's obviously very good at, but we all know that Face of Void struggles a little bit with his damage output early on. He's picked up the Mask of Madness to help with that, but it's hard to get that sort of solo pick off, that solo damage that's required. They really do need to be holding hands to some degree if they expect to make big use of that Chronosphere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, after all of that, they didn't get the tier 1 tower top. They don't have the fastest tower pushing lineup versus Complexity, which Complexity can sort of delay any kind of fight on the tower, delay any kind of push coming through with this Jakiro. The problem is Jakiro does fall off. And I'm not like being a you know, complete Complexity fanboy here.
Jakiro hater.
To like constantly say Complexity this, Complexity that, you know, good plays, good plays. I'm bringing up the points here, and as soon as the Jakiro starts falling off, that is when the Faces Void and the Mirana actually start coming into play. I'm not even talking about a Timbersaw. Timbersaw is one of the most disgusting late game heroes if he's farmed. You can't kill him, you can't do anything to him, and if you do try and do it, well, like if you do try and kill him, your entire team's going to die because you won't be able to kill the Mirana or the Void or anyone else. And if you don't kill him, he's going to kill your entire team. I've played up against a couple of Timbersaws that are like that. But we do see a Moonlight Shadow coming through right now. They want to go on to coL. Here's a solo Chronosphere, and it's going to be a Timber or Chakram down as well. They might want to go for more. Jakiro, he should still be okay. I mean, it's an early Moonlight Shadow. It's a single Moonlight Shadow used, but they do manage to get a kill. There's no global silence.
It's just a silencer, right?
I mean, okay. I'll take that trade.
The thing is, Silence is dead for, I didn't check his full respawn time, but he's dead for less than 30 seconds. And now he's back up and he still has his ulti, and you don't have a Chronosphere now for another 100 seconds. It's a lot to commit to him, and I think coL doing the right thing here. They're charging and they're going pretty aggressively here because obviously they have a really great window to work with. And they do have this emphasis on pushing at the moment with the DK and the Jakiro. Because the other thing is, you know, you're chatting a little bit about how the Jakiro falls off a bit, but the important things to know about DK is that DK is, they struggle from behind, right? Even though they have some capacity with, you know, Breathe Fire to actually get back into the game, the big thing is that when they're behind, they just aren't a massive threat. Like when they don't have that health pool and their armor pool that really sustains up against their opponents, even when they're catching up, they're just not offering a huge amount of value. But this is a DK that's sitting second on the net worth at the moment. He's being able to just get into his front lines, tank the towers, push them down pretty easily. And I mean, he's pushing in tier 2 now at a mere 20 minutes, and hasn't even opted to go into his Dragon Form. So obviously, this is a side that's playing with a lot of confidence at this point. And even though they may be down on kills, they're certainly ahead in many other ways.
Yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily need to use your Dragon Form when you have a Jakiro that is farmed as all hell. We might though see Complexity moving in towards Rosh, and there's actually a Radiant scan on Rosh right now just to try and scout that area out, check what's happening there, because they don't see anyone from EG on the map at all. And the top tier 3 tiles are already taking damage, and with Mirana TPing in all the way to the top, this might actually just open up Rosh, but is this going to be Complexity deciding to jump on here? No. Okay, they're just keeping the pressure here. They want to pull in more heroes into this top lane. They want to bring back more defenses so that they could just ward up and take control of the map. Because currently they don't know where anyone is. They're trying to force rotations back. They're trying to force TPs back. And as you can see, yeah, Buckler being cast, just hitting once onto the tower. Nope. Oh, well, there's a
also
smoke.
damages
Arteezy
Chessy.
and Crit, they might decide to go into Chessy right now. The silence is there from Chessy, and here comes Arteezy. He's going to jump straight onto him, but the Phantasm is there. Unfortunately, the silence is not going to be there in time. The not the Spirit Breaker, Earth Spirit actually drops very quickly there. Fear, he's still alive. Here comes Moo right now with a good Ice Pass onto one here as well. That's going to be 3 down for the side of EG, and I'm quite surprised that they just went in with a couple of heroes there.
Looks like they're going straight to the rush pit as well, so... Or are they? Thought about it.
Well,
I mean,
I would if I was them. The big thing though is EG pushing in towards this area with only 3 heroes, having or with only it was 3 heroes, without having the Mirana, without having the Moonlight Shadow, and they did not have vision on the side of complexity at all. That was a very risky play. I mean, they jumped on Chessy. Chessy does have an omelet. Sure, they silenced him, but he had an omelet to survive long enough to actually use his Phantasm, and the entire team of complexity was there to back him up.
I mean, well, he's really tanky, right? Because although he's picked up Blink Tag now, he does in fact have an Omelette, Strength, Power Trades, and an Echo Saber, so...
Oh, Moo. Moo's just taunting right now. He
don't
knows
get
he's
started
dead, and there's the Chrono. Yep. Arrow's also going to be flying through, just making sure that the damage is there. Universe, unfortunately... Oh, well, yeah, no. It's just going to be Crit actually stealing the kill.
That's... Once
Support
again,
life.
that's a lot to bring him down, right? If you had to spend damage on a full 5-on-5 team fight, I mean, obviously you would expect a couple of people in the Chrono, but it actually took the full 5 seconds of the Sacred Arrow as well to bring him down at the end. So, yeah, it's concerning times. You just don't seem to have the damage sources that you need right now if you're EG. Once again, that's all going to improve, right? Because you have Universe, he's farming up. It looks like he's going for that man style, so he'll be able to really pack a punch. And obviously the Mirana as well, he's gone for more of a right-click build, will certainly be able to deal a lot of damage outside that Chrono as well.
The thing is, currently they're using the Chrono for a single target pickoff. They're using the Chrono to ensure a kill every time. And if I was EG, I would be okay with that because you're struggling to do it, you know, any other way. So just secure it, fall back, and don't take a fight for the next 2.5 or whatever minutes while the Chrono's down. And then take another fight, get a single kill. But the problem is, this opens up Rosh. They know there's no Chrono. They know there's nothing else. Dire's using a scan, but hey, no one from Complexity is moving out of the Rosh pit, and this is going to be a free Rosh for Complexity.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say this earlier as well, is that, you know, it's true that EG fight really well around the Rosh pit at the moment. But once again, the moment that Chrono is down, you just have this great window for Complexity where you can start really pressuring lanes, finding objectives, finding pickoffs, because there's very little that they can do right now to turn the tide, and, well...
Oh, Sumail might be in a bit of trouble.
I don't think they realize he's up there.
Sumail, no! The auto attack coming from Sumail onto Chessy. No comment. Okay, well,
right along then.
Yeah, let's just get straight back into this. Timbersaw, he's being stunned up right now. The Ice Path as well as the Macro Fire ticking him down. A quarter of his HP is already gone. Limp, he's just going crazy. Chessy, however, with the Phantasm, is getting quite a few kills. Limp, he's just focusing up right now onto the tower. That's 2 heroes down. It is Sumail as well as Universe, and the charge was coming through from Z-Freak, just keeping vision up on Arteezy. This is going to be the first lane of Rax. There is no buyback on either of these 2 heroes. This might actually be 2 full lanes of Rax.
I mean, they do have the Chronosphere in 30 seconds, but that's a long 30 seconds when you have these heroes being down you. And
yeah, you might just have to use the Chronosphere on the creeps to defend your base. Okay, that was a joke, in case people listening
yeah,
don't get it.
That's absolutely huge. I mean, going into the series, I really did not expect after the silence wall, just lets them all just walk out of harm's way. That's just a really clinically and well-performed boom from them, and it started with a very...
Oh, Crit actually getting a double stomp there. I don't think he noticed that. It's just going to be Moo that might be in trouble, but Z-Freak comes through once again. He doesn't care about his life. He's just going in crazy. The arrow flies through. Unfortunately, he's not going to hit on... Well, yeah, no, it didn't hit on anyone at that point. Moo is still alive. Somehow it's 2... This is literally 2 supports versus 5, and one of them still gets out. Well, 2 supports versus 4 versus 3. But you know... You get exactly what I mean. It was actually versus 4 because they did manage to get a kill.
He's just gonna start walking this one off. Shadowplay is about to run off, but I think he's
so how do your 2 supports? Well, technically Jakira's past 3, but still, 2 supports run in.
Let's call it a support just for you know, a grand.
The hero's a support, but he's being played in a past 3 role. That's fine. 2 support go into 4 heroes, manage to get a kill on 1, and still get out, both of them. 2v4. What does that say about the current state of the game at this point?
It's a severe lack of damage. That's what this game has really been for you. They've just been waiting for the damage to come. But, you know, you find yourself in such a hard position now, okay, and it gets a little harder.
Yeah, crit. He will drop from this. Doesn't matter what. Yeah, there he goes. He actually drops. There is a fight, though, and that is going to be Sumail. He is getting stunned up. The Moonlight Shadow was used as well. Buyback coming out here from Crit. They are fighting on top of the shrine, so this might actually be a time for them to engage. Is this going to be a good Chronosphere? Oh no, the Chrono was actually used previously, so there is no Chrono. Limp is tanky. He does, of course, have the Aegis of the Immortal, so they can't try to do, well, they can't really do much against him. Limp blinks in forward. They want to go in. They do manage to get the kill onto Universe. They're going in for more. Unfortunately, Sumail still is not doing enough damage. He's right-clicking like crazy, but it's, well, let's quickly have a look. Yeah, they actually do manage to get the kill there onto Z-Freak. Finally, Sumail. He does do quite a bit, but it's not really a lot of damage. That's the problem here. The arrow flying through as well. And Sumail might just get instantly blown up here if the Dragonite, yeah, there you go. Dragonite gets the kill. Mu is still alive out of all of this fight. He gets a good Ice Path going down. And finally, the Aegis of the Immortal gets popped. Crit is trying to time that up. There you go. There's the curse as well. Is there going to be anything else? It is going to be Crit dying finally, eventually. Chessie, they want to try and get the kill onto Arteezy as well. Oh, he went in for the Reality Rift. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. The blink forward also jumping over Arteezy. Just, yeah, completely dodging and juking there. Going into the tree line, jumping over.
So it's just a scrappy. This fight started with your CK getting Chronosphered and taken down. And this fight ended with your CK moving back into the fight. Did he actually pick up the kill? Didn't he actually pick up the kill? He got a stun off on someone with a Lotus Orb, so he just kind of got there. But, you know, point is, long fight was long. And once again, it's kind of difficult to say what EG could do at this point. They have such a tall order ahead of them if they want to even be in a position to look threatening right now. And of course, this is Dota 101, you just start restricting the size of the map of your opponents. coL now bringing down all the shrines.
However, EG is not out of this. They do have a lineup. If they can still delay, if they can, you know, get a pick off here or there and not die, EG can bring this back. They have the heroes to be able to do it. Sumail does have a full Mjolnir up. You know, throwing that on the likes of a Timbersaw, letting the Timbersaw jump in. Timbersaw only having 13 Bloodstone charges at this point, so it's not the most. But they have a lineup that can still defend a little bit. They can actually take this late if they can delay for possibly another 10-15 minutes. But it's a tall order for them, though.
Yeah, I mean, look, you don't really want to counter a team that has a Faceless Void easily. But I just don't see it happening. I mean, I would love to see it happen, right? Because it would be one of those classic comeback matches. But EG have to do something pretty amazing from this position. I think coL have just got there.
They're jumping straight away in onto the Jakiro. The Jakiro does get a 5-second arrow, and he is still alive. Mu, he manages to drop a little bit. Eventually, he drops. However, Limp is there trying to do as much damage as possible. The good Chrono coming through. Unfortunately, it actually caught onto one of his own friends, well, one of his own teammates there, and he gets blown the hell up. That's 3 heroes down for the side of EG. Sure, they did lose Limp eventually, but the problem is this might just be a good game depending on buyback status. Crit's going to be the sole survivor of the entire EG team, and that's not even for long. Unfortunately, that's an entire team that has just been wiped. Timbersaw being forced to buyback now as well. Keep in mind, they already have 1 Rax down. Middle Rax is down. This is the last lane of Rax.
Yeah, it's also a bit of a sad state of affairs because even by buying back, you just put yourself so far behind. You know, it's awkward because you want to buy back not to lose your Rax. You want to buy back to try to keep your hopes alive, but by buying back, you lose so much. So I mean, so much you don't have really. That's the big, they just don't have the money. They can't afford to do this. They're so far behind.
I mean, if you're ahead and you're forced to buy back, hey, that's okay because at least you don't lose.
Well, if you're looking threatening, it's okay, right? Like, you can be behind, but look threatening. I mean, think about the last game with Complexity when they had the Tiny that was looking really, really strong in that matchup. Like, sure, they were against it, but they had the damage sources. They had the means to bring down their opponents. They just needed, like, a really good fight. They needed to find themselves in a better position, you know, literally find themselves on the map in a better position and pick up a good fight.
RTZ, he's being scouted out by Z-Freak right now. Z-Freak, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Z-Freak just goes toe-to-toe, man-to-man, mono. But no, he backs out.
Time to do that.
However, I want to say, in the beginning, you said the Spirit Breaker is not looking, you know, as dangerous as we've seen in the past. Yeah, do you want to retract that statement right now?
Well, it was 3-6 at the time, to be fair, against the Spirit Breaker and friends. But certainly has been just a massive menace. And I also just want to point out, by the way, one of the things that Complexity have done very well in this game is they've itemized fantastically. Because if you look at the fact that they have so much magic resistance, and basically all the damage that EG have been relying on early on has been magic, because once again you just can't rely on Faceless Void gives you physical damage. So they've picked the right heroes for the job. And
well, they do decide to jump onto the poor little Timbersaw RTZ. Not quite sure. I mean,
charges will be back sooner. I don't know if it's soon enough though.
He doesn't have buyback. He doesn't have buyback. This might actually just be game, but Universe comes in, gets a good chrono to try and block it out. But there you go. It is Jakira getting an Ice Path, forcing them to actually try and just back out. And the double bash is coming through here from Z-Freak, courtesy of course, that Echo Saber getting that kill. However, Earth Spirit, can Crit actually do anything? No, that's even more heroes down. Not even a big hype cost there, because I didn't know where to focus. GG, well played is being called, and this means Complexity is going to the winner bracket final of the Star Ladder Invitational North American Qualifier.
Yeah, this was a really interesting result. I wouldn't have called this, I mean, going into this matchup. I think EG, if you look at their players and how these players have performed in the last few years, and up against the performances of coL, you'd probably be very easily happy to accept the fact that EG has the better team on paper. But in the end, Complexity, particularly in this last game, their draft was really good. The way they itemized was really good, and they played their strategy out exactly the way they wanted to. And it always felt like EG were just buying time, trying to find an opportunity to play their game, and they never had it. And in the end, Complexity absolutely deserved winners, and you know, congrats to them.
Well, guys, let's quickly have a quick look at the final score graph over here, or the final overview. Scoreboard, I mean, Jesse just playing extremely well, 11-3 and 6 towards the end of the game. But I just think it was, the MVP there for me was between Moo and Z-Freak. Moo controlling the early game, and Z-Freak just running in like a madman and not dying a lot of the times.
It's hard to argue that. He just felt like he was playing with some sort of cheat on. We had additional HP they shouldn't have had. I mean, when I think about the mid tower, where he ran into, I think it was 3 or 4 players, and a tier 1 tower 12 minutes in, and his response was to kill 2 of them. You don't see that every day.
Well, guys, on that note, congratulations to Complexity. Stay tuned. We will be casting Team Blue Pikachu versus Leviathan. That will be coming up next. I think according to the schedule, that should actually be in around 5 minutes, so stay tuned. We'll be back with our next game shortly. I'm Reddit. Joining me was Halberd.
Cheers, guys.